Welcome to the outdoor section of the Laredoan. I'm Mike Bates, and today you can see, yes, we're not on a lake or we're not in a bass boat. What we're going to do in the next 3 or 4 weeks is we're going to show you a little about the hunting aspect of the outdoors. Since it's in the hunting season, we're getting that cooler weather coming down. You can almost feel the fever. And what we're going to do is try to prepare you, just give you the little ins and outs. A lot of people already know a lot of this stuff, but for the people that are just getting into it or just getting into the basics, it'll be a little helpful hints for them. First thing you want to do is, you try to find a good lease and or a good landowner that allow you to hunt. And what you're looking for is, you want to ask the people about what kind of deer management program they've got going on. Something, because you don't want to go out in an area and spend $1,500, $2,000 a gun and get an area that you really haven't surveyed and you haven't looked at. You want to do that in the earlier part of May, August. Get a surveyor out there, let him helicopter it across, and let him see what kind of buck to ratio you have. Most of the brush country and a lot of the good deer management areas, we've got a 2-to-1 to 3-to-1 doe to buck ratio, and that's a good ratio. And you'll end up killing a nice, mature, a good trophy buck. That's what you want. But don't just settle for something that's just out there. Make sure you get something that you'll enjoy and you'll have a good time with. Get a lease that allow you to to deer hunt on it, quail hunt, dove hunt on it, and maybe do a little fishing on it too. That way you get your money's worth. But the first thing you do once you get that lease is you want to come out and survey the area, look around the area, and see what kind of situations you got. Like right here, we got a nice sendero going right down the alley there, and a lot of those deer will be crossing it. And what we've done out here is we've planted oats, and that's a very good draw for a lot of the deer. They'll come up, and it's an easy food for them. It's an easy plant food for them, and they'll follow that sendero along. And it's a good way to draw a deer right into an area that you can hunt. And there's one right now walking a good about 350 yards down there. Looks like probably a doe. And see, they're already coming out into this area, and we're just in October right now. And once these oats get up, we'll see a lot of deer out here. And what you want to do is make sure you plant them a good 2 months in advance, a month in advance, so you can get a little rainfall on it, and that way you'll have a little growth on them by the time deer season starts, which will be in the middle of November. And the next thing you want to do is make sure you set up your stands. And if you haven't moved them around yet, make sure you start moving your stands around, and because you want them in place at least a month in advance, so those deer get used to seeing that stand there, and they'll move around it. And that way you don't have to worry about a spooking deer early in the season. Once they become spooked, I tell you what, on an area, even though you got a lot of land, those deer really, it seems to spread. It's like a fever in them, and they'll make it a lot harder for you to see deer, and especially the bigger bucks when you get into the rut, late November and usually middle of December and January. It just depends on the weather conditions. But one thing we've got here is we've got a nice deer stand that was built by Sal Nervice and by Nervice Enterprises in Laredo, and this is a beautiful deer stand here. It's got this patented sharpshooting rig on it that allows you to put your gun up there, and it braces it, so that way you don't have to rest it on anything. It's already resting on the brace, and that way it allows you to be able to shoot hands-free there. And one thing I like about this is it's movable. You find a good area like this, and you got several senderos, maybe 10, 11 senderos like this, you're allowed to move your deer stands around, and that way, you can pick which ones you want. That way you don't have to go out and spend a whole bunch of money on a whole bunch of blind stands that you got to stand up, and then you find out during the middle of the year you don't even see any deer from that. This way you can move around with this stand and actually still be camouflaged with it, and be able to pick out the areas that you want. And with this stand, it's movable. It's an excellent way. It's what it is. It's bolted down in certain areas. It takes about 8 bolts. You're gone. Your truck is free for the rest of the year. And that way, I tell you what, for the money, you can't beat that. And the next couple of weeks, we'll just go in through talking about where you want to put some stands, where you want to put the feeders, and we'll start talking about a little about the rut. I'm Mike Bates for the Laredo.